Hi everyone, my name is Lucy. Today I'm making Hungarian beef stew. This recipe requires just a few ingredients and it is very easy to make. And I'm preparing about 5 pounds of beef and I cut them in big chunks. I sprinkle with salt and pepper and let it rest for about an hour. This recipe also requires a lot of onions, and I took 2 extra large onions and cut them in big large pieces. You can also use 3 or 4 medium onions, and it really doesn't matter if they're yellow or red onions. I cut about 6 or 8 carrots in about half an inch pieces. You wash them, peel them and cut them. And I'm having ready 2 cups of beef broth, and this is just in case my beef goes too dry when it's cooking. And I'm using 2 cans of red bell peppers that comes in a can. They are a little sweeter than just cutting the fresh kind. About a quarter of a cup of paprika, and this is the sweet paprika, and this is the kind that I'm using. I don't recommend you use the hot Hungarian paprika because then you will ruin your beef stew unless you like really hot food. Tomato paste. This is about 2 tablespoons of tomato paste. If you don't have tomato paste, use tomato sauce. And this is about 1 tablespoon of vinegar, 4 or 5 dry bay leaves, about 2 tablespoons of vegetable oil. And completely optional is sour cream. We mix this at the end of the cooking of the beef, but this is if you want to do so. It gives a creamy texture to the beef at the end before serving. It also tempers the beef stew if you have used the hot paprika. I'm going to blend together in my food processor the peppers with the paprika, the tomato paste and the vinegar. I'm going to make a sauce with all of these ingredients. As I mentioned, I'm using only the sweet paprika, but you can always use a little bit of the Hungarian paprika to spice it up a little bit. I'm heating the 2 tablespoons of oil so I can saute the onions in my Dutch oven, and use a Dutch oven that is big enough to put the 5 pounds of beef. I'm going to let the onion become translucent, and then I'm going to sprinkle some salt and pepper until they are cooked. Once they are translucent, not necessarily brown, I'm going to add the sauce that I just made with the paprika and the peppers. At this point, I'm going to add the bay leaves, followed by the carrots. I'm going to mix well before I add the beef. For this recipe, there's no need for searing the meat. Once we mix together the beef with the sauce, then we're going to cover this pot and place it in the oven at 350 degrees Fahrenheit or 180 degrees Celsius. It will stay in the oven for about 2 hours. The onions and the meat will provide enough liquid to stew the meat. I'm going to cover the pot with aluminum foil first before I place the lid on the pot. Then I'm going to transfer to the oven and let it cook for 2 whole hours. After 2 hours, the beef is perfectly cooked and very tender and delicious. At this point, if you find that the beef stew is too dry, then you may add some of the beef broth. The beef stew have enough liquids, so I decided not to add the beef broth, so I'm saving it for another use. But I'm adding the sour cream to make it creamier and sweeter. I'm serving this beef stew over a pasta bed and an avocado on the side. I hope you like this recipe and that you try soon. It's very simple to make and very delicious. Buen provecho and come back to see me soon. Please subscribe to my channel if you have not done so. See you soon. Enjoy the rest of the afternoon with your friends or family.